Good morning, everyone. Welcome along. Welcome to Steel Horse Station. Hope you are all well and enjoying whatever the beginning of the week has brought you. It is Monday, 7 a.m. here in Melbourne. I have my coffee. I know it's still Monday. It's Tuesday, 7 a.m. Goodness, that shows you how slow my brain's working at the moment. I know you are enjoying or have enjoyed a Coronation Day holiday if you're in the UK. It's Monday evening still in Europe, although only just, and Monday afternoon in the US. So wherever you might be, strap in. We've got a bunch of things to do on Newlands today. So let's head over there and see what we can sort out. That button and move that across there. That should be a little bit better. And you can, first thing you can see is that our, whoops, let's look the right way. Our sugar beet should be ready to harvest. Why is that just showing growing? What a growth stage are we in? Let's find the map. Sugar beet is not quite ready to harvest. Okay. Interesting. So that potentially means we move to plan B, I think. I thought we were ready to harvest here. Just as well I checked. So, what we will do instead is switch our attention to the fields. So you'll notice, let's just jump over there. You'll notice I'm ploughing over here. This is where the corn was. So we've bought some extra land out the side here and up the end here. And the first thought was just to extend the cornfield. But thinking a little bit more about it, the opportunity exists. We need to really rotate the corn. And so what I'm thinking is if we were to combine these fields with a little bit of the grass, which was ultimately the plan, in any case, then we could make this one cornfield. And in fact, this area over here, we could divide into 3 fields for the moment, some orientation, to put out oat, wheat and barley. In particular, the most important is to get our wheat and barley in the ground because they need to be seeded. And in order to do that, need ploughing. You can see that the areas that we've had the corn in needed ploughing, and obviously the new fields need ploughing and soil testing. So what I'm thinking we might do, we could then put a grass cover crop across this section, which would then solve our, oops, it's not very helpful. Sorry, a grass cover crop would help our conditioned grass situation massively before we put the corn in when in the planting season next year. So what I'm thinking we might do then is get the seeder going We've got plenty of seeds. G'day, Mark Haythornwaite. Welcome along. So we've just discovered, Mark, that despite my best intentions, the sugar beet's not actually ready to harvest at this point. It's still growing. It's in the final growth stage. So we are going to move on with a plan B. And plan B involves I've decided to switch the crops around. I was just explaining that I'd started ploughing out over here, and as I was working through that, realised that we've had the corn in here a couple of seasons. So what we might do is make this into one field and pop the corn in here, and temporarily divide this area over here. I don't know what the orientation will be, into 3 fields for our wheat, oat and barley, the most important of which is to get an area that we can put the wheat in, wheat and the barley in before the window closes. So that is the plan for today. So we'll let the Fent continue ploughing away. He should make reasonable progress of that while we grab our weight back and drop some seed in. How has your coronation day been? Did you get your patio done over the weekend, first and foremost? And has there been more golf in the agenda? Let's have a look here. Oop. Just patio stones. Are they all done? And are you impressed with the job you've done? It's certainly hard yakka, so let's put grass on the display. Before I get too far ahead of myself, can I actually all but 6? Aha. Let me guess, the last 6 need to be cut to shape. This is not a drill, is it? Let's have a look. Oh, it is a drill. That's okay. Perfect. So we just want to open you up. Hodge 1, welcome along, sir. My day is just beginning, but it's beginning well, albeit our version of, hey, I can imagine you were shattered. Why does that not look like it's drilling? That is not showing any sign that it has, in fact, popped grass in there. Let's see. Nope. So even though it says it's a drill, I'm tipping. Maybe if I turn it on, it'll work better. That's better. Driver's asleep. needed more oomph in the oomping department. Now we're getting grassy. So our version of winter has decided to roll in Hodge 1, so we are cold for this time of the year. Much colder than we were a couple of weeks ago. Snow in the hills. Minus temperatures in the high country. So, well, that's excellent. Hope you're enjoying it. Take advantage of the fine weather to get out and do some fun things. Now I picked that up. Let's see if we can get going here. So what we're doing, Hodge 1, we're just putting a grass cover crop in here because we've decided that that'll solve our grass shortage, that because the sheep are eating more, and prepare for the corn to go on this side next year. And we'll put our 3 grains in the area where the corn was over the road, which is currently being ploughed and prepared. That's what we're up to today, because I made a boo-boo in timing and not understanding that my sugar beet's not actually ready. Oh, a little known trivia fact is that we have more area under snow than Switzerland. Got something to do with the fact that Switzerland's a small country and we do have some high plains. The trouble is our tallest mountain's only a tick under 8,000 feet high, so we don't even make it to, I think it's 2,600 meters or something thereabouts, so not high at all. Yes, definitely does snow. We enjoy a ski season. Opening weekend is in June. Traditionally, the June long weekend, which is our was Queen's birthday, I guess is now going to be King's birthday holiday. So in the middle of June, and that's traditionally the weekend that the ski lift's open, and then the season runs usually through till the end of the school holidays in the first week in October. Back in the day, before the kids discovered all their own sporting activities, we did have a share in a lodge in the highest mountain here in Victoria, and used to enjoy going up every second weekend. It's about from Melbourne to the good ski slopes for Victoria, all being relative. It's certainly a lovely country. It's about a 5 to 5.5 hour drive. So back in the day, we would pack up our gear, take it to work, leave work as soon as we could get away, 5 in the afternoon, jump in the car, and we could, weather permitting, be on the mountain enjoying a hot chocolate in the lodge by 10:30. You'd sleep, be up at first light, and the first run of the day was always 8 o'clock, and away you'd go. ski like crazy young people until Sunday night. And then drive back and do it all again. Those were the days. I really enjoyed that there for a few years because what I found was I wasn't sufficiently proficient at skiing, but I really liked it. But I couldn't worry about anything other than skiing when I was skiing. It was the first sport I'd found where you, once you got past the absolute raw beginner bit, your skill level didn't dictate how much you could enjoy the sport. But you could have a lot of fun. You could make it as interesting or challenging as you like based on your own decisions coming down the mountain. And I hadn't encountered another sport that was like that. So I also discovered that you can't ski and worry about something else at the same time. And so therefore it was a great stress relief. And so the neat thing about Australia, Odge1, is it's big. So if there's something that you want to be able to do, fair chances are somewhere in Australia you can do it. Because we extend from the tropics into the Antarctic waters. Something's trying to tell you something there, Mark. I have tried snowboarding a couple of times, but because I didn't see snow until I was in my 20s, I just stuck to mastering skiing. It kind of helped that the group that I was, my wife and I were a part of, they were all skiers and quite proficient, so it was just a matter of, you know, keep up, learn as fast as you can. In fact, we used to get after the first couple of seasons, we'd get a bit of a good-natured teasing because they'd point out that once we gained some proficiency, it meant they didn't get a rest anymore waiting for us. Round is a lot harder. And the balance is more the opposite. So you want your weight in a completely different spot, I would have thought. I've tried pixie skiing a couple of times, but it's not really my cup of tea. I like, don't get me wrong, I like being out like in what I guess you'd call the backcountry, although it's not as well, it's still big enough and rugged enough to get you into trouble if you don't know what you're doing. Yes, these days hard ground is hard ground. We tend to get quite a lot of moguls because the snow's a bit wetter. The runs are shorter. So, yep, there we go. Let's just run around there. Miss a bit for good measure. How's our ploughman doing over there? Why does he look like he's stopped? Is he tangled up on some tree or something over there? There's every chance. It makes sense, and yes, from the flatlands, when land's flat, it's flat. The high country in Australia is really pretty, and I like it summer or winter. So let's just pause you for a second. Excuse me. Early morning hay fever. Now what's our plough doing? Not much at all over here. Would appear to be stuck on a tree. Yes, it is. Get you off of there. Get you out of the way. Come back here and hit that there. Let's just get you out of the terrain. Somewhere up here is the edge of the field. No, because I cut it. That's better. I thought I took all of the trees. That's kind of interesting. Now I've got trees standing in here. I was sure I cut them all. We'll go and solve for that shortly. I thought I grabbed all the trees out of there. Never mind. We'll get this grass sowed and then we'll solve for the trees. Those cut lines in the forest, are they fun for snowmobiles as well? I would imagine. I've never had the opportunity to drive a skidoo. They were pretty much reserved, or they are reserved in our high country for commercial operators to move equipment. Ski Patrol use a couple of them. They're not particularly prevalent. Anyway, our ski days came to an end because the kids enjoy skiing, but their preferred weekend sporting activities were gymnastics and basketball respectively, daughter and son, and the time commitments for both of those and the Saturday commitments for both of those being under all year round sports meant skiing fell down the priority list, so we got out of the habit, which happens. Realistically too, I think there was a big difference between 20-something workers packing themselves up and getting themselves to the snow every second weekend versus a young couple with 2 children under 5, and so that started to get in the way also. Right you are, so... Okay, our plough over there is proceeding apace. Might end up, in order to get everything done we want to do today, having to get ourselves a second plough, I feel. Just so that we can keep up with activities. See how it goes. I suspect, Hodge, one also there's a big difference in outdoor temperatures. A cold day in our high country is probably well, a cold day is minus single digits Celsius. You can get a bit of wind chill on top of that, so it can blow 40, 50, 60 kilometre an hour winds when it's bad enough. The winds come straight in off the Antarctic, and these are the first serious mountains that they encounter, so it can be a bit deceptively chilly, certainly cold enough to get you into trouble if you're not paying attention, but nothing like the sustained cold temperatures that you get in your parts of the world. What I'd describe as a typical day in the high country is probably, you know, an overnight minimum of -6 or 7 and a maximum of -2 or something like that. That would be fairly standard. Jason McKinley, welcome in, sir. Hope you are well. Another day at the grindstone, no doubt. I'm suspecting, being budget day, there will be much interest in your workplace as to what machinations the government has gone through this year. For those outside Australia, it is the federal budget is handed down this evening, although they've been busily leaking the contents. Well, if you wait long enough, you may have got some sun. And we seem to have headed strongly into our winter sequence, with the occasional burst of sunshine, and the last 3 days have been just wet and cold most of the time. There we go, we're almost finished grassing this field. Are you still doing one of those monster fields, Mr. Haythornwaite? As I see, asking you a question which just doubles down, making it difficult for you to play and watch at the same time, or play and chat at the same time. There we go, face full of dust to go on with. Okay, our plough is... seems... whoops, I missed a bit again. The plough seems to be doing a little bit better. Right. Rocky Mountain was the one from Bower Brown. Is that... have I got that correct? The one you flicked me the PDA of. Cool. And yes, I was subscribed to him. I'd watched a couple of his things on map making. And he's got quite a good way of explaining the odd thing that I needed to know along the way. I noticed we didn't get any mods today. Giants have been very distracted, I presume, with their Switch release. Might have a look at I didn't download the map. I just had a quick look at the PDA that you sent, but maybe we can do a bit of a map tour in the next couple of weeks. Have a look at it, see how it rolls. See if it inspires some further treatment. Okay, so that's one lot of grass in. Goodness, I did that very badly. Yeah, I've pondered the Giants map making course a couple of times. What I couldn't tell from their absence of general documentation, so is the fee that they've got the fee for the series of courses or a per episode fee? Let's pick you up. And run you across here. Because it's broken down into like 15 sections or something, if I recall. And it just struck me that if it was that fee, if it was that single fee for the whole lot, then actually it's not very expensive and probably worth doing. If it's a per episode thing, it's kind of expensive and you'd want to be getting a bit more value for it, so that's where I stopped. And particularly as I figured it didn't solve the absence of documentation. It's just one of those things. If you can pick up the odd tip or trick or clue as to what they were thinking when they designed editor features in a particular way, that would be useful and worth spending a couple of dollars on. Yeah, what you can plant across there, not much. Bit of a rocky, bumpy road around the edge. So, a few more up and down trips here. Thinking we will need to go and grab another plough to help out over there. There's a bit of hay fever this morning. Yeah, well, that's that was kind of the way I looked at it, but I really didn't. There wasn't an obvious answer to the question, and given that some of the creators have done some fairly reasonable tutorials on different aspects of map making, I sort of figured, I'll just stick with YouTube. It's certainly for me at the moment, getting to do the sort of things that I've needed and wanted to do in the editor, that's been adequate without sticking my hand in my pocket. I'm not sure also that I've got the overall patience to build my own map. What I've kind of discovered is that, like all complex systems, there's lots of intertwined pieces, and early on, even what appears like a basic, simple task requires little bits of knowledge in quite a few areas, and that can be quite frustrating. But if you try lots of simple tasks, after a while you start to get a hang of the way the sort of the structure and the interrelationships work, and you get tripped up less frequently, right? Or you get clues on where to look for the answers to your questions. So whilst the lack of documentation on their XML and their interfaces is really annoying, at least the upside with XML based tools is lots of information is in, pseudo readable form. It's certainly a lot easier for instance, to read an XML file than it is to read a Lua script. I certainly know enough to know that my first project wouldn't be a 4x map. I'd have to start with 2, because I'd never get a 4x to look good enough to want to show anyone. I just, the amount of patience that's required. Yes, that's definitely true, Jason, and in fact, the whole Giants method encourages that. Let's go back around that way. We can pick it up across here. part of the reason for that is some of the game functions are kind of semi-uniquely implemented in different maps. So there's features on the Alpine map that are different to the base US map, that are different to the French map. Only small variances, but nonetheless it's easier to start from there. However, once you get under it, for the most part, you could kind of work completely from scratch, which is sort of the terrain that people, as best I can tell, like Ola Eldor, are exploring. The other thing for me in map making is getting the map piece, the base land is one step, and I've got a growing understanding of how to do that, but actually making it good and playable is about what you put on the map, you know, which is a combination of buildings and foliage. And the skills you need to do those things, I'm not sure I possess or could generate. So the mechanics of creating a building, I'm confident I could learn, but that artistic flair to make it look good and interesting, I'm not sure I possess, because I'm just not wired up quite like that. And I would want to do an Australian map, and specifically not a wide open West Australia style, but more a Victorian landscape and map configuration. And there's not that many assets in the game that suit construction of that landscape, but obvious reasons, that's not where the player base is. And to give you a trivial example, so I'm trying to remember the name of the chap, but Hockley, something like that, has a pretty nice Australian map. Jason Rowe, welcome along. But what really hit me in the face when I had a look at it was it's got the farmhouse has got an American flag, you know, hanging on the porch, and it's just like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't release an Aussie map with that. It would just jar with me completely. I understand that, Jason Rowe. I have been wrestling with that exact same question. What really sort of started me thinking about it more seriously was the Oaks, which I'm just having so much fun with and thinking, gee, I'd love something based in the Victorian countryside in the Oaks. And the area is not so much Western Victoria for me, Jason McKinley, as the Yarra Valley. So sort of trying to get a bit of a crossover with some scope for grapes potentially. But a lot of mixed use farmland. But anyway, to capture that sort of look and feel of the Australian farms, you'd need Australian buildings, and there's not that many trees. I think you can get the look in a 1X. Yeah, that's starting to get pretty ambitious, Mr. Bro. And that's part of the problem, is right, you imagine, once your imagination takes hold, it's like, oh well, I could do this and do that and do this, and you haven't even done the first part and you're already added 57 variations to it. That's just human nature, and part of the core reason why most software projects get into trouble. It is all too easy when you're working inside people's heads to get stuck in stuck in development and lose sight of delivery. It's one of those things, it's remarkably easy to say, but it's a trap that costs industry billions of dollars every year. Coming along with our, for those that joined a bit late, so what we're doing here is putting in a grass cover crop to solve for our feed for the sheep, given that we're at almost full population on the sheep now. We're ploughing out the area over yonder where we will put our wheat and barley before we move forward with the day, and we're waiting for our beet in front of me to ripen, because I thought they were ready, but they're actually in the last growth stage, so they'll have to be done next month. But before we can go to next month, we need to get some wheat and barley in the ground, or else we won't have any for next harvest. It looks like we're coming along in terms of an area that we can work with over there. We've got a couple more trees to get rid of. Well, that's the thing. You kind of there's hidden in that comments a really good example. So there's no equivalent building that I've seen in the materials for farms that looks anything like a shearing shed. Or quarters for shearers, which for those from overseas would typically be where backpackers would be housed on a farm. Oh, did I get it? No. We'll go around the loop this time. One more little bit over there. Managed to miss a stripe up there. Good job, Steel. Good job. Silos with silo art. It certainly captured my attention, and I reckon they'd be fairly popular. Hooked up in my desire for a shearing shed is the discussion we were having about how sheep work a couple of streams ago, so it's all right. This is all stuff I just let it soak in for a little while. I might not get all of it done. I've never been short of ideas, but we'll get some of it done. Have it appear. I'll take a holiday a bit later in the year, and that will by necessity cause a break in content creation, but might create windows where I don't have internet access, where I can do some of these things. I need to find a series of good photographs of some of these buildings so that you've got something to base your designs on. Right, so that's that bit done, which is good. Go and fill up the cedar. Go and see how far through we actually are. Yeah. You can open the cover without. Come on, can we get you under the spot? Yeah, you'd think that that would help. Jason, I'm finding it's a little bit different. So what I was doing the last time I drove up to take some stuff up to my daughter, I paid a lot more attention. So I'm finding now, having played Farm Sim for a while, when I'm out of the city, I naturally see a whole bunch more, particularly farming equipment and infrastructure than I ever noticed before. It's just the last couple of times the photographer in our family tends to be my wife, and she hasn't been with me, so the trick is to get her and her camera pointing at things that I want to record, and then we'll be good. And the only tricky part of that equation is it's looking strongly like the next holiday we take will be European rather than Australian. So, which is not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. It's just, it will not generate that content. But we'll see. We'll see. Now, where are we up to here? Yeah, it's funny how once your brain changes its filters for what you see, all of a sudden you notice stuff that by all accounts was always there, it just never registered with you. Very clever tool we have between our ears. It's a shame for some of us it takes so long in life to actually figure out how to use the best bits of it. What is it they say? Youth is wasted on the young. Or something to that extent. Now, what I need is a winch. Yeah, that's true. I like to think I learn. I enjoy learning, and I think I'm better at it than I was when I was young. Now, let us head over here and get these trees out of the way of I can recognize a couple of the crops, but I'm doing much better on the equipment. Yeah, what's the first tree he's going to run into on that angle? This one here. No, we might just delete you. It's hardly worth cutting you down. This is the situation where object hider really comes into its own. And yeah, oh, tree gone. Now, where's the edge of the land that we own here? It's like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trees that are going to come down. I was sure I cut these down the other day, but never mind. Odd things happen on this map. And that's absolutely true, Mark. Let's get rid of that stump, because we're not going to mess around with that stump grinder today. With that tree over there, it's just going to be annoying. Let's take you off. That's really cool, Jason. No worries, Jason. Have a good one. Enjoy your Melbourne visit. May it be productive. Right. So we got a couple of trees there. Let's see if we can remember where we dropped them. And let's get you first. And winch you out to safety. What have I got now? What's happening to the winch? Why am I not getting a winch here? That's the trailer hook. Try that. That's better. If I pull you in this direction with any luck, bump across there. Come on. You might cleverly be able to pull all three logs. Oh. Almost. I got it a little bit of the distance. Let's just pop you over here. Come on, turn. There we go. Detach all is left shift B. Now, I'm pretty sure you'll only take the one. Come on. Can we push you up? Let's pop the blade down. Of course, it's going to rotate around that axis. It's so interesting to see them introduce a nice, consistent friction model into the game. Just get out of there. That's all we want. Over the road. So there's one more, isn't there? Somewhere in this undergrowth. I have another tree. There it is. Right, that's trees out. Maybe. No worries, Jason. Have a good one, mate. Thanks for dropping by. We off that pretty much. So that disconnects you. So what we can do now, he's coming up the hill. Well, we should pop you just back across the road so we don't stack into you all the time. Right. The plough's on shorter runs now. Just trying not to get the blade caught on the ground. What we might do is get rid of that wood chip. Let's go and grab our dinky little lime spreader, because I'm certain we're going to need lime. We can probably also, until we get all of the new ground broken up, we can't sample the fields. And I am trying to avoid spending money on a plough, or on another plough. Let's do a couple of loads of lime just to see what's what. Because we know we'll need some over there. You've got lime in you at the minute. And we can run across our grass field. I didn't actually put grass in that little patch there that I managed to nuke. Stay off the crop. Because I don't know the soil type down here, what's it going to do for lime? It's probably not a good strategy. Because it's just going to throw heaps of it. Which will leave us over-limed. At the other end of the field. Know roughly where it starts. Can potentially go from here. This doesn't need an awful lot by the looks. That's okay. We'll get some on here. That'll be at least part of the job done. Definitely feel like liming every year pops it up. It is an easier and more affordable way to go. Just gonna go about this edge down here. That'll work. And leave a stripe. Go get another load. The one thing I can potentially do is interrupt the fence and just There you go. If I interrupt the fence, I can do the headland on this side. And by doing the headland on this side, I can then mark out an area to put the wheat in, so we can get the wheat and the barley planted without finishing the whole shooting match. I'm thinking that's the right strategy, because the area for the oats it can't be planted until next spring anyway, so we've really only got 2 crops that we need to get in at this point. So let's go and interrupt the fence. Where are you here? You jumped to this part of the map anyway, so we'll just let you finish your run across here. So, not that. I reckon if we head we do this edge. Yeah, come on, over you come. Just want to get you all the way to the end there. Remember that I've got create fields on and don't want to make this field mess up this field boundary. So back up there. And across that line right about there, I reckon. Perfect. I would imagine it's quite chilly and drizzly out there this morning, Jason. We've certainly got more rain again. We have a little pond in the front yard that we were trying to empty and renovate, which keeps filling up with water. How, who would have thunk it? That's one thing, if I ever do a map, my street furniture will have collisions on by exception rather than as the norm. Let's just get you some neatly down that line there. Yeah, so this plan will work. We can mark out a couple of fields on this side, which we can then soil test the bits that are missing. And then we can get the crops planted, or seeded, I should say. Okay, so let's just continue along there. Let's clear those trees off the road at some point. It will be important. Let's go to the end here. Continue round just section there. Let's rotate and go back the other way. Right. Try not to fall down the hill. Yep. Sympathetic movement of the tree. One thing I've never understood about that Giant's engine, how an object with mass can magically gain velocity without a power input. Just strikes me as something that shouldn't be possible in there, or should be tested for very simply in their engine. So now, at least up and back twice more along the edge here, I reckon. Get us to the position we want to be. No worries, Mark. Good job on your patio. Thanks for dropping by. Have a great week, and you never know, we might see you at the Oaks for Thursday night stream your time. Have a good one. Thanks for dropping in. So, what we're gonna do? Turn the corner. No, this is the 12-hour gapper. Only once a week do I stream with less than 12 hours between them. Thankfully. It works quite well, but it would feel a little overdone. Trying to get my head into the space of the different maps is one of the things I find the hardest. Just to remember what we're doing, why we're doing it, sorts of things. You up. And turn you round. Yes, because when I finish, for some reason, the one that I do on Monday night on the Oaks takes, after I finish it, is not, YouTube doesn't finish processing it in HD until the next morning when I get on here to stream this, whereas when I finish this one in like an hour and a half, it'll be finished processing for HD. So that's, this one would look to everyone in the audience to go live faster than the one from last night. No problem. We had fun. We got 600,000 in the bank on the Oaks. We're narrowing in on a couple of fields to buy. So we'll make all those decisions because we're going to roll forward now on Friday's stream. And we will not be paying the loan off. The loan's on track to pay itself off now. Got that covered. We've got expansion plans. We could do donuts. We've got the sugar mill now. So we own the sugar mill, and we put our sugar beet in, so we will have some sugar shortly. Fattest and fastest, yes, indeed. No, well, we've got a good combo working for lime contracts when they come up, and in the spring season I'm hoping we'll get a few fields that we can plant under contract, so that'll keep the cash flow going while we hopefully take on and prep a couple of new fields for ourselves. We already have eggs, yes, so there is definitely scope there for donuts. In fact, we've got to sell some eggs because our chickens are now producing apace. Another few months and the cows that we put in will start to produce milk, so we'll have everything we need. We could put an industrial bakery on the well, that donut factory was ridiculous. It also didn't hurt that Daggerwin was playing on a simple economy too. As he does to keep everything moving along. I like to have some degree of challenge. I don't think it's too hard for him. I think it just the formula that he runs for his series. Jeez. See you later. The formula he runs for his series means easy works. It gives him the maximum flexibility, keeps his audience entertained. Let's just see what we can get here. Coming down this one. Let's get that little bit that I missed there. Let's see you, Mark. Have a good one. Get that little bit I missed at the top. And then we can do those two stripes there. Let's finish the headland first. Once we get this, come on, play on the right spot. I'm still in the wrong spot. One wheel over, that's better. Now we're cooking. Just. Right. The only reason I need to make sure we plough it all is we need this, the area where the corn was required ploughing, so breaking it up is a good thing. But with any luck, one more stripe down here. Take care of it. We can just see the line of the stubble along the edge that's left there. Oh, missed a bit, missed a bit. Get back over there. To get to the corner. Missed it again. Probably would help if I turned the plow around, but we'll make it work. Up there. And all I've got is a good area on this side. And then we can go and get the soil tester. And we'll get the plough back working his pattern wherever he was up to. Didn't need to turn that, did I? Or did I? Yes, I did. Run down that side. That's that bit. Get this top edge done. Get all the little bits I missed on the way around. Across there. Need to do some maintenance on this plough by the looks too. Probably not helping overall performance. A little bit there. Down and off we go. Rightio. Just go back up and get that little bit on the corner. That's it. Green stripe that goes through there and we will be good. Golden, so to speak. There's one little green dot I missed right at the end of this run. We'll get him. Okay, that's that bit. Just drop back and get that. And then run up here, make sure we haven't missed any in these. Nope, that's looking pretty good. So, let's get the bit that made the mistake at the beginning of the day. I'm not actually getting that, turning on the make fields. I did 2 rows without it. To when we just get rid of this green stripe, we might run over and grab the soil tester in front of this tractor and take the opportunity to repair the plough, being as it is in dire need of repair and be helping out overall performance. Grab you. Quite gonna get you in one there, are we? Let's just jump out and get that wood chip. Right. Last little strip there. Good. That last little strip up there. I managed to put all of the watchers either off to work or into bed today. Perfectly understandable. Meanwhile, we just keep trucking along. I want to get this soil tested. Oh, I do want to get that little bit out in front of me there, just so that we can utilize this area in defining our field for the wheat. Just in the corner there. We're in effect gonna define this new field into 3 sections. That's the plan. Whoops. Down. Let's just come up to that edge there. That gives us a nice clean boundary to work to. Minute. There we go. Bit of an agricultural sweeping turn there. Change gears. And around. And around. Oh, lights on. Somebody's home. Back and get that little bit I missed. I believe I still missed that bit. Let's get this stripe up there. And that will be that. Rightio. Last bit. Hopefully. Yep, gotcha. Let's go get the soil tester. Get this plough repaired. Train still running. There's a repair trailer sitting out in the middle of the space here because I repaired tractors, so and 600 bucks to repair that. Might as well do the other 3,000 on the fence. Racking up the repair costs. Okay, now the tester is right there, which is nice and convenient. I'll unfold the tester. Let's see here. This is about where we want to be starting. So, come inland a little bit. Something like there is a soil sample. To the corner. We're up there. Can we go too far? Like there. Didn't get the bit at the end. Let's get you. They're gonna need 4 samples by the looks to get the bit that we want for the minute. It's all the other end of the field. Is done. Oops, came too far. Just in there. Let's send you off and see what soil we're dealing with. And fold you up. And send you back to wherever you were up to. And if we go and look at our soil map, we can see we've got a big loam swathe through there. So that's promising. Now, in terms of how big is that field and that designation, I've got to go to there, don't I? No, I need to go to here. I can't do it on there. Tell me which map setting shows me town corn and tells me the area. I thought it was 5.15 hectares. So if we, and this wheat field was 2.3, right? So it's fair to say this total field that we're running is bigger. While I think about that, let's put some more view on. So we can now finish the section that we were just looking at. But what I'm thinking there is just trying to get a sense of how to divide, draw some custom fields to enable our feeder to plant the wheat. I just want to sort of try and guesstimate the size for it to work with without giving it too many ridiculously complicated contours. It's eating a fair bit. No, not too much lime actually. A bit more in this section. We'll need another fill of lime. But we've definitely got enough space there to define an area, so we'll do that as soon as we get back with the lime. Oop, tree, boomf. And I dually drive on my grass. Nope, we're out of lime. 20,000 litres is a good start. And away we go. That'll work. Paint in this section. And around we go. What are you? Oh no, you're all right up there. Okay. So, let's take you down. I can empty you off switch devices. And then what we'll do is jump out of the tractor so that we can draw a field. So if we come to here, we want to draw a custom field. And I think what we want to do is pick something like, well, we definitely want that corner. So right click, right click, right click. Let's trace out our corner. To do a little bit of correction there. I'm sort of thinking something so. Probably about there, I reckon. And save the custom field. Yes. And this is going to be, rename it wheat. Of course it is. Let's rename it new wheat. Right. New wheat is 2.7 hectares. Old wheat was 2.3. So we've got a little bit more area, which is nice. Now let's just check the boundary out. So that end, I'm actually looking at. Not looking at the field I want to be looking at. I want this guy. That's better. I am moderately happy. Let's see here. Basic. Let's just pop the corners on the edges. Let's move you actually into the field. Never hurts to have the boundary actually as the boundary. And on this one, we can do something similar. multiple selections. Come on. That's it. Why are you not doing that? There we go. That's a bit better. Let's select you. Come on. Let's move you. A little bit closer. Looks better. About where we want it. Just a couple of those to fix. Just to adjust for the quirks in the edge of the field there. We can probably go over a little bit here. Yeah, a little bit wavy up this side. Not too much. And then up this top corner here. That's all right. It's got to follow the edge. This bit we made a bit of a boo-boo. Let's delete a couple of waypoints out of there. That one. That one. Where is that guy got? There he is. Bring you in here. That looks better. And I'm happy with that. Okay. Out of there. So now we drive you onto here. Change the crop to wheat. Let's check that's what we've got. Yes. Reset you to there. Which field did you pick up? We want you to instead get that field. We're going to do that. Field position. Why are you not selecting my new field? Leaking. I'm going to have to wait. Maybe if I there I delete the town corn. Delete town corn custom field. That might work better. Now, great job. Nope. The only play course it wants to know about. Maybe let's just have a look here. No course. Course play settings. Prefer custom fields. Now try. Now we got it. Gotta fiddle around with it just a little bit. 6 meters. Let's do 3 headlands. Start on the center, sharp corners. Generate me a course. I like that. So away we go. I hope. Looks promising. Just move that tree. Painted surface. Struggling a bit for traction, but that's an unusual angle of attack. But once you get going, Bob's your uncle. Excellent. Bruce Salter, good afternoon. You have literally popped your head in just as I was finishing up, Bruce. I've just gotten the wheat going, the lights fading as you can see, and I am calling it quits for the day. But thank you so much for popping by and saying hello. It's very much appreciated. The stream will be up on YouTube as soon as it finishes processing to HD if you want to catch where we've been, but we weren't able to do the sugar beet harvest, so we spent the time changing our field configuration a little bit. So we've put grass into what was the old fields over here, and so we'll do a cover crop of grass before we plant corn in there in the spring. And this new area that we've been ploughing out, I just started off putting the wheat in there. We'll put some barley next to it, and then we'll roll over the day, which is where we'll pick it up next time. But until then, thank you very much for popping by. Great to see you. But I got to run. Have fun. Bye for now.